Today's review is a beer from one of my favourite breweries. This is Verdant and My Kind of Maybe. It's an IPA, it's 6%, but what's it going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're going to Verdant. Yeah, these are a brewery that make good beers. No, actually I'll change that. They make great beers because they're a consistently good brewery that make great beers. I don't think I've had a bad beer from Verdant, and mostly I've had great beers. So this is a 6% IPA. We've got Eclipse, Mosaic and Nelson Sauvin, so it's sort of Southern Hemisphere. Well, actually, you've got Australia. Eclipse I'm sure is Australia. Nelson Sauvin, New Zealand, and Mosaic's American. So we've got a blend of all kinds of different countries or areas of hops. 6%. It's a bit low for it's about the lowest you want to be having for an IPA. But let's crack it open, get it in glass, stop waffling on, and let's hopefully drink a very good beer. Nelson Sauvin. God, we've had so many beers. Verdant like using it as well. So I'm expecting this to be consistently great. I've got no high expectations because I know it's always going to be good. Beer in glass looks lovely. Lovely yellowy orange colour. 2 fingers just about, compacted head. Looks pretty good. Let's see what the aroma's like. Yeah, not as pungent, and the weird thing, the thing is we get with a lot of the Verdant beers especially is that you get that sort of savoury sort of spring onion note, and I'm not getting it with this. So let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. Soft mouthfeel, smooth, velvety in terms of that. Flavour wise though, it's not quite blowing my socks off in terms of flavour what I expect. I don't know if it's because it's 6%. It's a nice fruity beer. All those different hops aren't over dominant. I'm not even quite sure about Eclipse. I've had beers with Eclipse before. I'm not quite sure what it brings. You're getting the Mosaic, that sort of berry flavoured in there. The Nelson Sauvin seems to be the sort of a lot lower down in the mix, really. It's not as dominant as you normally expect from Nelson Sauvin. Yeah, and I'm going to always say this is a very Mosaic heavy. I'm not quite sure what Eclipse. If it's Eclipse, if it's an Australian, is it a bit like Galaxy? Quite dank, stone fruit flavoured? Yeah, there's definitely some of that in there. You're getting mango. You're getting tropicalness. You're getting a slight twang, really, of the Nelson in terms of a little bit of melon, a little bit of gooseberry and grape. And that's about it. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't really. You get a little bit of sharpness of grapefruit on the back end, but it's more about the sort of tropical and stone fruit flavours. Mango and passion fruit. And there's definitely, there's Mosaic in this. It has that very Mosaic heavy flavour. And I'm a little bit of a bit funny with Mosaic because it's in so many beers. You can't, it's almost like sort of second only, I think, to Citra in terms of being in beers. It's one of those hops that on its own, and if it's dominant, I'm not a big fan of at all. In fact, I will say I would avoid it. If I see a single hop Mosaic beer, I will run to the hills, really, because I'm not a big fan of the flavour. And if I think there's Mosaic and one other hop, I'll be looking at what that other hop brings. And hopefully it's got a very distinct flavour because, again, I'm not a massive fan of Mosaic as a flavour. But usually it can really level out other and sort of counteract other hops. So Mosaic and Nelson Sauvin, I think it's a great combination because Nelson Sauvin is so dominant and Mosaic sort of brings it back a little bit. This is definitely much more Mosaic-y in terms of its flavour. It's almost like the Nelson Sauvin is holding back the Mosaic opposed to the other way around. But it's fruity, it's soft, it's velvety, it's very drinkable. 6%. It's not sessionable really, but it's at that point where an IPA is very easy to drink at 6%, I think. I mean, you get IPAs that are 7.4%. We've had them on the channel, 7.4%. 6%, that's a big difference between 7.4 and 6%. It's just a really easy to drink beer, and it's inoffensive. You can tell it's good quality because the mouthfeel is very good. But I just think the Eclipse, I'm not sure what that brings. Mosaic, we know what that brings. Nelson Sauvin. A lot of Verdant beers are very heavy on Mosaic, or Nelson Sauvin, sorry. They do like using those New Zealand hops. That's probably why I'm a big fan of Verdant. This is a mixture of all kinds of sort of flavours, really. You get the mango, the tropicalness from the Mosaic and probably the Eclipse. And you get almost like an echo. I don't know, I'm starting to talk rubbish, but you get an echo of that Nelson Sauvin. It's a very minimalized Nelson Sauvin flavour that you would get, that you wouldn't expect. Because when you see Nelson Sauvin, you think, oh, this is going to be very, I'm going to hit that, I'm going to get that flavour straight away. But you've got to really sort of search for it. So there's lots of different things going on. It's a good beer. It's definitely not the best Verdant beer I've had. And again, it's difficult to tell me what the worst one is because I can't even think of a bad Verdant beer. I've had some pale ales from them as well. I usually drink IPAs from them. I've had some pale ales from them, and they've been good as well. I've not had a bad beer from Verdant, but I don't think this is. I mean, I've had a lot of much better ones than this. It's okay. It's okay. Well, when I say okay, I mean it's good. You know. So let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for My Kind of Maybe. This is a brand new beer from Verdant. We've got Eclipse, we've got Mosaic, we've got Nelson Sauvin. It's a 6% IPA. It's a good beer, but it isn't a great one. So let's go through the scores, starting with aroma, appearance, flavour, value for money, my overall experience. And we top the scores up, and it's a recommended beer. Total score, it's an all right, it's a good beer. It's a very drinkable, pleasant beer. But we've had lots of beers like this, and there's lots of beers available like this. There's nothing that elevates it to greatness, really. I think the flavour's a little bit muddled. The mouthfeel is good. It's very Verdant-esque in terms of the mouthfeel, but maybe it's the choice of hops. It's just, I want more from my IPAs. I want bigger flavours. I'm not quite getting them from this. But you know, if you see Verdant beers on the shelf, I'd say for every 9 out of 10 beers that you have, they're going to be very good beers, and you might get one that's only average. This one I think is only sort of just above average, I'd say. But you know, you can't be winners all the time. So let me know what you think if you've had this beer. Let me know what you think about Verdant. Have you ever had a bad beer from Verdant? Because I'm racking my brains. I can't think of any. But there must be some. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you like it. If you're not a subscriber, I've got something stuck in my throat. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. We've got lots of great videos coming up. I know I say that in every video, but there's I know all the beers that I've got in my fridge that are coming up. There's some great ones there. I've got a beer that I've got high hopes for because I've never reviewed them before on the channel. But I've had 3 or 4 of their beers, and for some reason I've just thought, oh, I'll just have that one. Oh my, that's great. Next time I have one from them, I will review that. And then it's come again, and then for some reason I've drank it, and I thought, oh, that was great. Should have reviewed that one. But I'm going to definitely review this one. I'm not going to tell you who the name is, but it's a brewery that I've not reviewed on the channel, but I've drank a few of their beers. They're a European brewer, and I think they're up there in my top 5. So keep tuned for that. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And until the next video, you know what you're going to do? Drink good craft beer and keep on rocking.